So we made one leg last time. So I sketched on the bottom of the cat's body. I'm going to open that sketch real quick. I made a pentagon. I didn't really have to do a lot of work for this. I basically just used this polygon tool, made a pentagon, and then I extruded it. But what I want to do today is I want to use the mirror tool and I want to use the linear pattern tool to help make the second and then the third and fourth legs very quickly. Sound good? Yes, say yeah? Yeah. So you can do this in sketches or you can do this with features. I find that 9 times out of 10, it is better to use mirrors for sketches if it's like just one thing. But in all other cases, I find it's better to mirror or pattern features. That's my experience, okay? As a general rule. The reason why is if you pattern a sketch and there's like 90 of them and you want to extrude it, then you have to click on each individual one of those 90 sketches and do 90 extrusions, which is a pain in the butt. Whereas if you make one complete and you pattern the feature, you're done. It's a lot easier. So we're going to use a pattern, and the pattern we're going to use is right here. It's called linear pattern. It's right next to the mirror feature. It looks like 4 squares or cubes. One of them was like white or light gray, and the other ones are like a gray, or a dark gray. So I'm going to click on that. Are we good so far? No one's saying anything, so I'm assuming yes. Okay, the first thing you have to do, this is very important. By default, it is assuming that you're choosing parts. That's a problem because this entire thing is one part. So right here, first thing you need to do where it says part pattern, you change it to feature pattern. What are we changing it to? Feature pattern. If you don't do that, it ain't going to work. Okay, change this to feature pattern right here. Now, once you have changed it to feature pattern, you can go select your feature. You can click on it here, or you can click on it over here. I'm going to do it on the left side. I'm going to click on this extrude that I happen to know is my leg. And so it's ready to pattern this leg. You can see that the leg is kind of like an orange. All right? It's ready to go. It's ready to go. Now, it says next, it prompts you to choose a direction. Okay? So remember, with these dialog boxes, if a rectangle is blue, whatever you click on is adding to the selection of that rectangle. If a rectangle is red, that means you haven't selected anything or what you have selected is not valid. So I've selected all the features that I want. So now where it says direction, I'm going to click on that. Now direction's blue. And all I have to do is choose something, anything that goes in the direction I want to pattern this leg. Anything. Anything at all. So there happens to be a nice straight line right here. I'm going to just click on that. And lo and behold, it worked. It patterned my cute little leg or whatever. Are we good so far?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, there's a black arrow right here where you can change the direction it patterns. And then you can also change the instance count. We're only going to pattern 2. You can also control the distance. The distance is how far apart they are. So I'm going to try different numbers. You can trial and error it all you want. Now you'll notice that it failed the work. However, and I mentioned this last time, a lot of times if for whatever reason it's failing to generate it, a lot of times you can click this reapply features and suddenly it works. So if ever you're doing something and for whatever reason, the preview is red and it's not generating it and you're not really sure why, the first easy, obvious troubleshooting thing to try is to choose reapply features. Now, that doesn't solve the problem all the time, but a lot of times it will. Okay? Sound good? Yes, yeah?
Yeah.
And now I have 2 legs. Do we have any questions before I move on? Okay. So I have 2 legs now. Let's be smart. Let's rename these things. I'm going to call this leg. I'm going to call this leg. And I'm going to call this leg pattern. So now I know intelligently what all these things are. We are now going to mirror. That would basically be the cat's right side. We're going to mirror it to do the left. So we're going to click the mirror feature. What are we clicking? And you click the mirror feature. And entities to mirror. Okay, again, what do we need to change before we do anything else?
Feature.
Yes. Right here where it says part mirror, we need to click and change that to feature mirror. If you don't do that, it ain't going to work. So now that you have feature mirror selected, you can select the features. So I can click on leg and I can click on leg pattern. I'm actually clicking on them on the left side. You do have to click both leg and leg pattern. The pattern, strictly speaking, makes everything but the first. So you do have to select the original. And then it says mirror plane. So it was red because I hadn't selected one. I click on it. So now it's blue. So anything I click is going to add to that selection. And I told you to leave this plane up, this right plane that cuts the cat in half. This plane right here cuts the cat in half. Told you to leave that up. If you did hide it, you can go back up here, click on the eyeball and turn it back on if you did hide it. I'm going to mirror the legs about the plane. They're red. They're not rendering. How do I fix that?
Reapply.
You click reapply. Well, skill issue. Now, if you run into a problem like this, I didn't really know this problem was going to occur today, but it did. Let's use a little bit of logic here. What would be an easy way to get around this that would require minimal effort? I patterned the front right leg to get the back right leg, and then I mirrored the right side to try and get the left side. And for whatever reason, this one leg didn't work out. What could I do or change to make this work out pretty quickly? Use your brain. Think about the order you could do things or what changes you might make. That doesn't require to actually understand why it didn't render or didn't work. Do we have any problem mirroring this leg? Did we have any issue patterning this leg? So what could we do? We could pattern this one again. We could. What if I don't want to have 2 separate patterns? What could I do? This is what separates the boys from the men, the ladies from the girls.
Just the order.
Could adjust the order. Could do that. For whatever reason, when I tried to pattern it first and mirror it, it's not mirroring. It's not mirroring this back leg. For whatever reason, it didn't do it. Okay? So, let's try to mirror first. Click and drag the mirror. Put the mirror first. Click and drag, put the mirror first. So I have the leg, right? I'm going to mirror that leg. So double click on your mirror to go back into it. You can exit out, X that, if you hover over the right side, there's X's. You can X the leg mirror, or leg pattern, sorry, leg pattern. So I'm just going to mirror just this solo leg. See how it just says leg here? We see that? Yeah, see, yeah? I'm going to just mirror that leg. That's fine. And then, for the leg pattern, instead of patterning only this leg, I'm going to click and pattern that one as well. Oh, look at that. Lo and behold, it worked out perfectly. So sometimes simple things circumvent the issue. Why did that one not get patterned on the mirror? I don't know. You know what? I don't care. I moved on with my life. Troubleshooting is a very important skill of technology and software. So if something's not working out, sometimes instead of trying to figure out why it won't render it, even though you think it should, just try a different approach. Saves you a lot of time, a lot of headache. So I did extruded leg, I mirrored that leg, and then I patterned the two front legs. Questions? Questions? Okay. We're going to do a couple more things that are kind of for funsies. One of the things is text. You can actually make text. So let's make a sketch on the side of the cat. Where are we making a sketch?
Side of the cat.
Make a sketch on the side of the cat. And there is a sketch tool called text. It looks like a big A. We see that? Yeah, we see that. So I can click on that. And I'm looking at this side of the cat. I can click and drag to make my text box. What should I call my cat? Wait, I know. Tipsy Marshmallow. No, I don't like that one. Good Tubs? No. Tricky Smooch. Vanilla Babe. Does that seem like a winner?
Yeah.
You think Vanilla Babe is a winner?
Yeah.
Krabby Smoocher.
Wait, that's what.
Boys, that's where it is right there. Krabby Smoocher. We're going with that one. All right. So I'm going to type it in. Krabby Smoocher. I don't know why it's trying to do Noto Sans Korean, but you can go pick whatever font you want. It does do a little preview here of what that looks like.
Yeah, that's fine. Just got fine.
Now, if you need to change your text, you can right-click on it and choose Edit Text. You right-click on any of the letters and you can choose Edit Text. So like Krabby Smoocher, I'm pretty sure I need that to be on two separate lines. So I'm going to put that on two separate lines. Sound good? You guys see, yeah? Much better. Now, it may still be very big or very small. How do you change that? You try and grab a corner. I'm pretty sure no matter what corner you grab, this is going to move it around. Which is helpful, but it doesn't help me resize it. However, every single thing in this software can be manually dimensioned. In fact, in the vast majority of cases, you are going to manually dimension everything. We didn't get caught up or worry about dimensions, and that's okay. But I wanted to mention at least one thing so that you kind of know how to do it. So when you're in the sketching tool set, right here next to constraints, we see this dimension thing. Do we see it? Do we see it? You can use that to dimension stuff. Now I'll go over how to properly dimension things in the future when we go over more in-depth CAD skills. But you can use this to dimension the size of the text. I want you to click on the dimension tool. What tool are we clicking on? I want you to click on the dimension tool. And if you hover over the edge of this box right here, okay, and when it's orange, when you click, your cursor now becomes a dimension. And the second time you click is going to actually place the dimension. And you are welcome to type in whatever number you want to type in. Make sense? Sound good? Yeah. Click. Maybe I make it 10. Oh, look at that. Made it so much smaller. I can click on a corner now and I can move it. Do we have any questions? Any questions? All right. You can now extrude that. You should only have to click one time. If you click on the letters, it should select all of them. And you can kind of raise or lower it as you see fit. And now I have the actual text on there, Krabby Smoocher. Sound good? Maybe? Yes, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Shut up. Bro, the conflict lead.
Any other questions before we move on? Okay. The last feature that I want to show is called shell. It's right here. This is not a feature you use a lot, but like the loft feature, it is really cool. And when you do need it, you really need it. Okay? Shell hollows out whatever you select. So if you click on this, it says faces to remove. If you click on, say, the bottom, it might not work because of that text.
Riley?
Riley?
Mhm.
Riley with an R?
Who did this?
Or is it Miley?
Sam, why leave Morgan Barter?
Oh, Riley, like Hawkins
This is
Riley.
crazy.
Yeah.
He was Victor Crown too.
Riley's in my 6 hour,
Okay.
which would normally be running right now. But since it's an Eagle Time day, it's
Yeah.
7th hour.
Sometimes they break a little.
That's who you need, correct?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find for you what class they have right now. Would that help?
Just killed that video.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Whereas we're just supposed to do. Okay. Yes. What you're doing.
7th hour. ELA 3 with Gibson. This is room 5,100.
She's ELA.
5,100.
Okay.
That help?
Yes, thank you so
Of
much.
course.
Let me change the size of the stuff.
Anyway, if you want to do the shell feature, what it basically does is you click on a face tree move and it hollows out the entire shape.
Yeah.
Now, very intricate things can make it kind of complicated. So like you might find it easier to do this before. If I click on shell and I click on the bottom of the cat, it kind of poops on you. You can kind of see where it's struggling. It's struggling with the red. But if I just let it go and I just click and drag a movement before the text, you may find that it works out. And you can kind of change the thickness here. And it worked out. Sometimes the previews are a little laggy, but hopefully you can see what I did here. It literally hollowed out like the entire cat. Like I can see all the way inside its head through the neck. It hollowed it out. This is a really cool feature. You don't use it a lot, but when you do use it, this is the only way you would have probably been able to do this. It's really cool. I mean, it hollowed out the tail. It hollowed out the neck. As a little pro tip, if your shell is failing to generate, it's either because you have really intricate stuff or the thickness is like too thick or too thin. So I'm actually doing the shell before the text because when I try to do it with the text, it caused some problems. And also, I really wouldn't want to shell the text in the real world anyway. I'd only want to shell the rest of the cat. So you can play around with the shell feature. The last thing that I want to show you, and I'm going to let you play with, is purely cosmetic, and that's changing the appearance and colors of the cat. So I'm going to show you that now. And then you're feel free to customize your cat, do whatever you want to it, and we'll be done with the cat for today. This is the last day we're working on the cat. So what I want you to do, down here, do we see where it says part 1? Do you see that? Do we see that? Yeah? You can right click on that, and you can choose edit appearance. What am I choosing?
Edit appearance.
And amongst other things, you can pick whatever color you want. Any color you want. Any color.
What time do we get out of this class?
117.
17.
What color should I make my cat?
Oh, definitely like black.
Should make it like crack smoocher color.
Now, here's something that's cool. Let's say you want to make your whatever translucent. Right here is a slider. Right here is this slider. You can click and drag, and you can make the translucency however much or little that you want, which I think is really cool. So you're going to get translucent cat if you want. Or not at all. If you don't like the predetermined colors, you can type the hex code of any color right here, or you can click on this mixer thing, click on the mixer tab and go to something you've probably seen before, where you can pick any color that you can imagine. But yeah, there it is, boys. Let's say that you do not want the entire cat to be the same color. So let's say I want to make like the tail a different color. So you can right click on something over here in the table of contents. You can right click and you can choose add appearance to feature. And I can make that tail a different color. So I made the tail purple. Maybe I want the mouth to be orange. So I go to mouth and I right click and I choose, again, add appearance to feature. Maybe I'll make the mouth orange. Last thing, this is very much only cosmetic. If you don't like planes showing up, you can always hide them, right? The eyeball. But the lines are still showing up. All the lines of the shapes. So on your view cube, to the bottom right, next to the view cube, right here, camera and render options. You can click on that and you can choose different things. So you can have different types of styles chosen. There's a view in high quality. Oh, that's crazy. One thing that I find to make things look a little bit prettier, right here where it says shade with edges. Remember, I clicked on this little button, the camera and render options button that's right to the below the view cube and to the right. Right here where it says shaded with edges, you can choose shaded without edges. And I do find that makes it look a little bit smoother. Okay. And it still has like shadows and lighting to kind of see the three-dimensionalness of it. I'm going to let you cook. I'm going to let you make your cat, but that's it. We are done.